It's no secret that we love buying cars out of Japan. The auctions can be an absolute honeypot of automotive goodness, and you can get some absolute bargains.
Now, of course, what I love about it is that you are buying cars sight unseen. Now, you might get some photos and you get an auction report, but you never really know exactly what you're going to get until it arrives. Just like my R32 GTR, which was the worst and cheapest GTR that we've ever seen. But luckily in today's case, Marty was after some new wheels, and what he found, I got to say, was shocking and surprising to me, and no doubt, maybe shocking and surprising to you too.
They say you don't choose cars, the cars choose you. Or maybe that's dogs, but either way, I found myself in station wagons because I wanted a lot of boot space for tools, parts, amps, PA speakers, guitars, and all the other mad stuff a young dude wants to carry around, but I still wanted to drive fast. And that meant trucks, vans, four-wheel drives, SUVs and other rubbish was out the window. I landed on turbo Japanese wagons because they were cheap, they were all-wheel drive, had great handling and were easy to work on. A few turbo Subaru wagons later, I ended up with Supergrams, an early 2000s Gen 4 Liberty wagon. We engine swapped it and I thrashed that thing for a decade before handing it back to Turbo Yoda's family, which is where it originally came from. Then I got myself a Levorg and we engine swapped that with a built 3-litre engine and made over 400 kilowatts. This was an absolutely epic car, but there was one problem. It was small, like the size of the WRX it was based on, and not a proper wagon. So the search began, and the criteria was late model, full-sized wagon, turbo and all-wheel drive. There was nothing Australian made anymore that ticked this box, so I had to search overseas. And I came up with nothing for ages, until I found something that had been out of reach. A car that someone had originally paid nearly $200,000 for was going through the auctions. I threw on a bid and a few weeks later, it arrived in Sydney. This is a Mercedes-Benz E43 AMG wagon, or estate as it's known in some countries. It's the first full-size Euro spec wagon that I've owned, and I think it's pretty special, so come have a look and I'll show you why.
Under here is a 3-litre twin-turbo V6 with 400 horsepower, 9-speed gearbox and Mercedes 4MATIC all-wheel drive gear system. Which means that even on the world's slipperiest roundabout, you can plant your foot and it's most likely you'll go the direction that you want to go and not sideways. Is that a good thing? Depends what you're looking for. This is called an E43 AMG, and technically it is just an E-Class Mercedes with a couple of turbos tacked on, but I reckon it's way more special than just that. This thing was only available for 2 years before the newer E53 came in, which was also 6-cylinder, but had a hybrid system, which means more complexity and more robots building stuff at the factory instead of one man and one engine. So with 400 horsepower or 295 kilowatts of power at the engine, do you want to know what it makes at the wheels? Hang around and we'll find out. Now you might be thinking, if you've got an E-Class, why don't you go for the big one and get an E63 AMG V8? The truth is, in Australia, they're extremely rare, hard to get, and so expensive, it'll make your accountant cry into his calculator. But this Mercedes, it is the Goldilocks of sports wagons. Let's start with the best bit, which is the price. This thing at auction in Japan was 3.5 million yen. That's around 35,000 Australian dollars. By the time it's landed, shipped here, all the taxes are paid, just over 40 grand, which in your currency is this. This car, for that money, is absolutely astonishing value. There's Toyota Hiluxes listed on Facebook Marketplace for more than that. And for that, you get air suspension and you get one of the best stereos that I've ever experienced in any car ever. And it is comfortable. It is refined, it has seats that literally hug you as you go around corners. But why was it so cheap? There's a couple of reasons, and one of them is right here, and it's pretty obvious when you start to look close. Grey, white. This is actually a white car that's been wrapped. Now when it went through the auctions, people saw that it had a couple of marks on the wrap and that it had been wrapped, and they ran for the hills. Not me, I went buy it now. The second that this car arrived in the country, I called up Shannon's Insurance, who are a sponsor of Mighty Car Mods, and I organised insurance for the car. So I gave them the VIN number, all the details, the specs, and you work out an agreed value. Now that has to include replacing the car, so it does include all the extras that I had to pay to get it here. Come up with the agreed value, and that's what it's insured for. So you can jump on the website or ring them up and talk to someone. They insure all our cars, and perfect for a Japanese import like this, even though it's Euro. There's also something we have to talk about, and that is the image problem when you drive a Mercedes. At least in Australia, there is a bit of a reaction when you drive an old man Mercedes. But what are your alternatives? You can go and buy a brand new Skoda, which is just trying to be a Volkswagen. Or you can buy a kind of boring, ugly looking BMW. Or what are your JDM options? Maybe a WRX wagon, also tiny. Or you can get a Subaru Outback, which is CVT. Of course, like with any car, there are some downsides. Some people will say, this is just a rebadged E400. I would argue it's like an E400 that hung out with the right people at the factory and got all the mad upgrades. There's also the fact that servicing will cost you thousands of dollars. Even for a basic oil change and scheduled service, easily $1,200. But that is the risk you take with a fast German car. Behind the wheel, this car is everything that you could want it to be. Grippy, composed, and stupidly fast for what it is. And while it's not as theatrical as the big V8s, it's still enough to scare your passengers into never asking you for a lift ever again. Except they probably will, because they got a mad seat massage, the whole time trying to convince themselves that they'd rather be in their dirty old clapped out Nissan. So there you have it, the Mercedes-Benz E43 AMG Estate. It may not be the loudest, the boldest, or the fastest, but it's definitely the cleverest. And it will do the run to IKEA. It will drop the kids at school, and you'll have a mad time driving to and from the track. And yes, the servicing costs can be eye-wateringly high, but if it doesn't break, it didn't cost you any more than any other car. If it does, it's still probably worth it. How different is this to the JDM wagons that we've all kind of known and loved, particularly in Australia, because that is what flooded and saturated our market for so long. The biggest difference, first up, is just sheer size. There's not that many wagons you can get in Australia, especially now there's no Falcons and Commodores that are big. All the other wagons that come from Japan are usually based on a smaller sedan or a medium-sized car. That's the case with the WRX wagon. And really, there's not that many others out there. It's a big turn-off for us here in Australia, particularly if you're buying a brand new one. And the reason I wouldn't buy a brand new one is you get hit with luxury car tax. So because your car is luxurious and because your car is basically just expensive, you've got to pay this extra tax on the initial price of the car. And it can add up to $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 on a car like this. So since the Australian car manufacturing market basically fell apart and Holden and Ford left, all the import laws changed, and that opened up the market to a whole bunch of interesting cars. That's why we've got a bunch of K cars, we've got a bunch of electric and hybrid cars that all fall under particular rules. And this particular wagon also falls under a particular set of rules because it was never released here. So there are sedan and coupe versions of the E-Series, particularly the E43 AMG. So as a benefit, you've got a car that's modern, it's got CarPlay, it's got all the safety features, it's got seats, massage, heated, all the features you could possibly think of, which has been a Mercedes thing since forever. What's some of the downsides? Well, there's not as many parts floating around Australia for this as there would be for, say, a WRX or something similar, but there's still enough. The reason I went for the AMG was I still wanted something a bit sporty. You can get like an E400, which is basically a softer version of this that can have similar motors. There's a whole bunch of engines they put in the E-Class and have done for a long time. This does still feel sporty. You can still go flappy paddles, changing up the way the exhaust sounds or changing the way the engine sounds or changing the way the suspension feels. You can notice the difference, and I guess it's fun. Is it a novelty? Probably, but I guess it's kind of cool. It definitely helps sell cars to people that love that kind of tech. This thing is made for highways. Exactly like this, on ramps, high-speed highways, all day, every day. It is absolutely made for it. The speedo tops out at 280 k's an hour. I believe it is speed limited a little bit lower than that, which is a bit cheeky, but this is what it's made for. Sitting back on the highway, stick it in comfort mode, individual mode, whatever you want, and just cruise. So to me, it feels like it makes more than 200 kilowatts, but to find out for sure, I want to go and stick it on the dyno and see what this thing is actually capable of.
I asked Scott from Haltech if he'd let me chuck it on the dyno to see what this thing actually makes at all four wheels.
So we're in sport mode. You got all your modes here, up and down through Sport Plus.
Did we keep dyno mode?
Dyno mode's definitely on, so if you press here, see it says all that.
Oh yeah, beautiful, so we know we're happy, that's
Current
good.
limited, run flat limited, roller test. I don't think you have to do anything else.
All right.
I think that's it. And then to shift gears, you're on the stalk here. It's down into D. And then you've got flappy paddles.
All right, so we'll get to the paddles
That's
to
one,
get us to one. We'll just get a bit of a feel for...
It's not getting angry at us, so I think it's...
Yeah, feels pretty good so far.
Still makes me nervous with the Euros because there's a lot going on in there. So I'm still never exactly sure.
Okay, so I can feel the kick down switch.
Yep.
Such a fancy car, still got kickdown. Love it. We're in second, third, fourth, and then we'll set up the tacho trim.
You generally will use fourth?
Yeah.
See how it goes.
How many gears we got?
9.
Let's use fifth.
Is your back massage good?
Lovely, isn't it? Yeah.
Have you ever had a back massage on the dyno before?
No.
By a car. Not an owner, enthusiastic owner.
Okay, you ready?
Let's see what happens.
Horn beeping or anything?
No, let's just go for it, man.
Okay, I'm just going to do a slow one. Smells like a Euro.
It smells a bit, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Love
hey,
it.
200 kilowatts.
All right, so
Cool.
really-
My guess was about 220, so I think I'm in a kind of in the ballpark.
All right, so let's bring it back up. This time I'll load it down below. So I just want to make sure the dynos, everything feels good. Okay, here we go. Yep. We're going to come in on it a bit harder. Here we go.
The downshift.
Hit the kick down. That's all right.
Is it, I wonder if should we click this and go full manual just to make sure in case we're not?
100%. Yep.
I think now you're full manual. I don't think it'll kick, but I'm not 100%
I can
sure.
test that. Fourth, fifth. Okay, the kick down's just in front of me. Okay, I'm stuck there now. No more
That's
kick
better,
down.
right?
Yep.
Okay. So many settings, man.
Yeah. Okay, you ready? Here we go.
Let's do it.
That's wide open now.
It really wanted you to pull 6th gear then, didn't it?
Yeah.
There you go. I said 220. My bum dyno's not that far off.
Yeah, that's feeling where you...
Yeah, I mean, for a factory 3-litre twin turbo 6.
Yep, that's kind of... Yeah, so if we were in, say, an R35, for example, which is probably the pinnacle of performance of that era,
Yep.
they make 300 kilowatts at the wheels as a factory form.
Yeah, cool. Which, what, out of 3.5 litres?
3.5 litre twin turbo.
Yep.
So I'm certain not comparing more to get a feel for, in a Luxo barge, you're like, that's what it needs.
All right, we're going to give it one more hit now. Everything's a bit more heat soaked. We expect it to be roughly the same. We're in 5th gear. Scotty was saying that's like 1-to-1 or close to
Ballpark 1-to-1. I don't know on this particular gearbox, but whether we're at 4th gear is going to overcome straps and the torque multiplier.
Yeah.
5th will be about 1-to-1 and 6th is probably starting to get to overdrive, I would guess.
Right.
So there we can do a run if you want in 4th, 5th and 6th just for the sake of it.
No, 5th is good. I'm more curious to see, because we'll be updating the intercooler, I'm curious to see if it's got hot now.
All right, here we go. We're wide open throttle now.
Let's go. Run number 3. Oh, very good.
It's such a nice car. It even behaves well on the dyno. There's no shuddering, there's no wobbliness, there's no nothing. It feels really nice.
Excellent. And that's kind of, that number's kind of what it feels like to drive on the road. You put another, 30, call it 20% of power in this and it's like, wake it up.
Yeah. And it's certainly not, at that power level, the thing is not stressed. It's beautiful.
And not slow, actually.
Yeah.
It's pretty good.
Especially if this gearbox holds it in that torque range, it'd be beautiful.
That's a pretty flat curve for a twin turbo engine, do you think?
It's almost an aspirated style, it's almost like someone was going for a reasonable V8, which this style of car probably makes sense that they don't want to feel it come on boost,
Correct. Awesome, man. Thank you so much.
Beautiful.
Well, got to throw some mods at it and see what happens.
Now you have to go work on the thing. That's going to be the complicated part.
Oh, no.
Dyno numbers and specs are all one thing, but we know that the true measure of your new car purchase is what your mates think of it on a run to the kebab shop.
G'day, mate.
Hello, mate.
How you going?
Ist good.
Does that feel nice and comfy? Are you German now, are you?
Yes, guten Tag.
Do you have some German heritage?
Yeah, quarter.
Yeah, right.
Guten Tag, Martin.
Hang on, let me just...
Ich habe ein Mercedes wagon.
Before we do anything, I just need to set up your seat, get
Okay.
you all comfy. Would you like some active bolstering?
I don't know.
How about some activating relaxation? There you go,
Yeah,
mate.
give
I
me
want you to
that.
be nice and comfy in this.
Ooh, something just touched my butt.
It was
Something touched me without
the, it was-
permission.
It was the seat. Well, it was permission because I said I'm going to set it up and you said okay.
Oh, but I didn't know.
okay?
That's actually pushing things into my butt.
Yeah, how good is it?
Is that normal?
It's what it's. I guess that's what it's meant to do. Yeah.
It's now pulsating left and right on my butt cheek. Oh,
That's cool.
what does active bolstering do?
Active bolster means when I turn left, whatever direction you kind of get thrown, it's going to bolster up that side of the seat and hold you in snugly.
That sounds dumb.
I mean, it all kind of is. Do you need it? Nah. Like, is it a cool feature? I guess so.
What does that button do?
You can adjust your seat.
What happens if you do cold seat and hot seat at the same time?
I have no idea. I've never tried it.
Oh, I'm trying
I
it.
guess it blows hot air on your butt.
That's cool.
All this stuff's a bit of a novelty because I've never had a car with any luxury features ever because I don't feel like spending 6 figures on something to do it. Like, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What does that do?
And
What does that do?
that does your
What does that do?
that's your aircon
What does
temperature.
that do?
Seriously?
one do?
Are you seriously?
I just want to see what it does. What does rest mean? Menu rest. What does that mean?
What are you doing?
It says menu rest.
Fully
What if I
messing
press
with
that?
the system,
I'm
dude.
just saying, what if I press that twice now? Oh, that did a weird screen. What's that doing?
I don't know. Shows
What
the
does sync
aircon.
mean?
That
What's ionization mean?
you can't press. It's not a touchscreen, dude.
Oh, why can't that? Oh, can't I?
No, it's not a touchscreen.
Oh, did you just turn the ionization on?
Yeah,
What does that do?
I don't know.
Let's go back in there.
Man,
Do I
you're like-
touch this?
What?
Oh, it's moving around. It's doing things when I didn't
can
even
you
do
focus for a second so we can discuss my vehicle?
it. Yep. What is that?
So,
Hold on. Can
no,
I see? Can I just see? I just want to see
So many
what.
buttons.
Oh, you moved that.
This is why you need a car with no buttons in
What
it.
does dynamic select mean? What's this
Don't
mean?
mess with my
What's
engine.
engine data?
That's distracting. Stop.
Oh, you can change. Look at that! Look what I just did to it.
That's cool.
Hey, did you know it could do
How
that?
many kilowatts has it got?
25.
We're not
Did
using,
you know it could do that,
We're
Martin?
not using very many kilowatts right now, are we?
Martin, did you know it could do that?
No.
Well, you're welcome.
Thank you, I think, for messing with the system until it did that.
That's cool. I like that.
2016 to 2018 is when these came out.
Yep.
And then they were replaced by the E53, so straight 6 hybrid.
Okay.
But this one was the kind of the last just straight petrol thing.
Right.
How was your seat heating experience going?
I put heat cooling on now. That's quite good.
Anyway,
Does this flap? Ooh.
everything flaps.
What's
So
in
what
the
I
glove
think
box? Why are they these? What do those two buttons do? Why are there two? What does that do?
it closes the vent.
Does it with a volume knob?
Hmm.
Why does it do that? Oh, I like that. That's good.
You having fun?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
What happens if you press engine stop as you're driving?
What do you think?
It's got a real clock. That's crazy, isn't it?
All Mercedes do, I believe. I'm fairly sure they have a real clock.
It's got a big clock, just like its driver.
Do you want to talk about the car, like generally the car at all, or you just want to keep pressing buttons and going, ooh?
I'm excited, dude.
Are you though?
I've never been in a modern Mercedes before.
Me neither.
This is my first time.
Me neither. I'd never been in one until I bought
were
one.
you not pressing buttons when you first got in
I
this?
couldn't work out what anything did.
Yeah, that's why I'm helping you
It's
work
taken
it out.
me a little bit of time to even like work out the most basic stuff because there's a bit of a language going on here. I'm sure Audis are similar. Like all your dial-y, turny things and homes and secret menus and like button pressy things.
Has it got cheat codes? Like, can you Idogen it to do
It has
things?
cheat codes.
Really?
Yeah, the only way to get it into dyno mode to actually be able to measure how much power it makes is with cheat codes.
Okay.
Which you got to flick and fiddle around with the buttons on here.
I like it.
On the steering wheel. But yeah, all screens too. So the middle screen becomes your CarPlay or Android screen.
Yeah.
And then you've got all digital dash, this is kind of early for a digital dash.
Do you have to hack that, or it has CarPlay in it? Or do
No,
you
it
gotta hack
has
with a
CarPlay in it.
box?
I didn't realise when I bought the car that had CarPlay. I thought I was on the cusp of when the car
Yeah.
maybe not, but then it's because I plugged the cable in and it was just nothing, and then I changed the ports randomly and it went ding ding CarPlay.
Oh, because
So that was
often
pretty
what they do
awesome.
is they have two ports, one for your thing and one for your passenger to charge
Yes.
their stuff with. But my question is though, was all of this in Japanese and you had to relanguage it?
So I'm pretty sure it was not. So as part of importing it, I think sometimes that stuff has to be made, like for compliance, and Benny did the compliance on this, it has to show kilometres and it
Okay.
has to be like in the right language. So I believe he might have adjusted that. What you cannot do is load local maps. So
Oh, right.
Mercedes is interesting in that way, and I've dealt a little bit with one of the parts guys, at the dealer in Parramatta called Luke, and he's a Mighty Car Mods fan. I actually met him a while ago, and he said, I work for Mercedes doing parts. And I was like, I got lots of questions for you. You cannot put local maps on this car.
Okay.
But what you can do is you can buy any part for this car, even though it was never released in Australia.
Oh, that's cool.
Because all their parts are international. Like if you, for example, if you have...
Give it a little nut.
If you have a car like this in...
Oh!
If you have this car and you live in New Zealand, then you can order, all your parts come from Sydney.
Yeah, okay.
So it's all shipped over and so it's all international. You know, sometimes we had issues with the UP and a few other cars where you just couldn't get bits for them.
Yep.
Not an issue with this car.
Clearly no warranty anyway, right?
No warranty, and I think that's one big reason why this thing dropped $150,000 in value.
So how much was this when this car was new in Japan or in wherever?
It's hard to know exactly, but based on these specs, high hundreds.
Wow.
Like 150, 180, 170, somewhere in that number, because this has some spec stuff that would have been expensive to spec, like red seat belts and all the fancy equipment. So
is this a Merc RS4 or a Merc RS6?
it's the equivalent size to an RS6.
RS6, okay.
E-Class is like RS6, and C-Class is more like RS4, A4
Yeah, okay.
in terms of equivalent sizing. But Australia just never got it.
Why?
I don't know, man. We used to get wagons in the E-Class a few years earlier. Not this. This is a W213. We just never got them. And in the UK and Germany and other places, you could get a V8 version
Oh, that's cool.
of this car with the V8, which you just cannot get at all. And I don't think Japan got that either.
Is this better than a Subaru equivalent from the same era?
The Subaru equivalent in the same era is the Levorg. Remember what that was? Stock?
Yeah.
110 kilowatts.
Awful.
Very basic CVT.
Yeah.
So this is a 9-speed. This is still automatic, but it's a 9-speed auto. And the shifts are faster than any typical auto that I've ever driven.
Yeah.
Later ones, I think they start to have dual clutch or a newer style of gearbox. But this has been fine. The one thing that fixes this car, when I first got in it, and that was in C mode, comfort mode, and I drove it, I'm like, what have I done?
Just floggy?
What have I done? I'm like, this is awful.
Yeah.
The throttle response is terrible. It's always stopping at every single traffic lights. It doesn't want to change gears. And then I worked out if you just flick that up to I for individual, it fixes everything.
So you got comfortable suspension. That's a good recipe, actually.
Yeah.
Then normal for your change gears, and then sport for your suspension.
So engine
Or
sporty.
for your changing
Gearbox
gear
is
stuff.
still auto, and then still comfortable to be in. So you're not, you can soak up the bumps on the road, and that fixed it.
So the answer is then, and this is a big moment then, is that the equivalent straight out of the box, this or a Subaru Levorg? And your answer is?
Oh, it's this. Subaru Levorgs are all CVT auto.
Does this not also then cost less than how much a Levorg equivalent would cost new now as well?
Correct. Although they call them WRX wagons now.
not a
WRX wagon.
wagon.
You know what? It's
not.
nothing to do with that. It's the size, because they're getting like it's a small wagon. You can't put, like right now, you could have someone your height behind you. Levorg, impossible. Your seat would be on the back seat, which is kind of the biggest consideration, because as soon as you try and load it up with people, you're sitting like this, and for a long trip, that's no good.
Yeah.
So if there was a larger Subaru equivalent, or pick any JDM brand, then that would absolutely be a contender, but they do not exist. So the fact that Euro wagons have now dropped into a price point that's comparable to a WRX or a WRX wagon, this is where I think it gets interesting, because I wouldn't be prepared to spend $80,000, $90,000, $100,000 on this.
Yes.
Would I spend 40? Absolutely.
So better than a Subaru station wagon, really good price, but not as fast as my BMW, which costs less than this.
Well, arguably as well, the Levorg that we built that made 425 kilowatts with all the STI gear, that was excellent. That's way faster than this thing. How usable is that as a daily with a twin plate clutch and all that power and like all that, built engine and stuff? The answer is not very.
Didn't that also cost more than this though?
It costs way more than this.
Okay.
And worth way more money. As well to hold on to, but again, no good for rear passengers. It's essentially a two-door. You might as well just have an MX-5.
Yeah.
Like, it's only good for two people, whereas this is actually good for having a bunch of mates in here or whatever it is you want to do. So, yeah, I think it's pretty cool, and it would absolutely chop your Beamer. Because it would chop your Beamer so hard. What?
Oh, what a dumb thing to say.
It would. That's not dumb because it's true.
Okay,
It would
man.
absolutely chop your BMW.
Well, I guess we'll find out next
All
episode,
day.
won't we, mate?
Absolutely.
Your dirty Merc versus my mad BMW.
My epic Merc. So good. There you go. E43 AMG Mercedes-Benz. Did I ever think I'd be a Mercedes-Benz driver? Never. But the way the world has gone with what wagons are available out there, the way the markets have gone to get a big performance all-wheel drive turbocharged wagon, this is one of your options, and you can get them cheap from the JDM auctions, which is awesome because paying nearly $200,000 for that, I would never ever do, but paying around $40,000 Australian, which, I mean, what does that get you, an i30?
Not much.
There you go, you can get something like this, which I'm very, very excited about.
You could spend a little bit less than that though and buy something that will absolutely chop the shit out of that, which is exactly what's going to happen on the next episode of Mighty Car Mods, when I absolutely destroy it.
Except you won't.
With my BMW.
God, BMW. Whatever, dude. Let's go get a kebab.